Hi everyone, welcome to UAI for All, India's most practical, hands-on and learner-friendly AI course. Brought to you by India AI, a part of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. You don't need to know coding or tech to start using AI. All you need is a smartphone or a laptop and an internet connection for this course. My name is Jasprit Bindra, and I will be teaching this course along with my co-author, Anuj Magazine. So shall we begin? Let's start with a simple question. Look at these pictures. This is Arun, an auto rickshaw driver on Bengaluru's busy streets. And here are some moments from a day in his life. Now look carefully at these images again and tell me, how many times do you think Arun used AI on this day? You might think he's just driving an auto. Why would he be using AI? But let me tell you a little more about Arun's day, and I promise you'll be amazed. Let me show you what happened in Arun's day, and you'll realize that AI is not some weird Terminator robot from science fiction movies. AI is a GPT, not the GPT of ChatGPT, but a general purpose technology. It is like electricity or the internet, which is used to power everything, though we do not see it all the time. So like electricity, AI is already helping millions of Indians like Arun every single day. This morning, just after picking up his first passenger, Arun checked the best route to Majestic bus stand on his smartphone using Google Maps, like I'm sure you do. Google Maps instantly analyzed thousands of data points. It looked at live traffic from other phones, road closures, satellite feeds, even the speed of other vehicles to find Arun the fastest way to reach Majestic. That is AI in action. When the passenger gets dropped off, they pay Arun using UPI, and I'm sure you use UPI every day. A powerful AI system behind UPI analyzed the transaction in milliseconds. It compared this payment to millions of other transactions to make sure it was legitimate and not a fraud. This invisible shield protected both Arun's hard-earned money and the passenger's account. This was Arun's second interaction with AI, and he didn't even know it was happening. Later, a foreign tourist showed Arun an address written on paper in English. Arun, who's naturally more comfortable reading Kannada, simply pointed his phone's camera at the sign. Google Lens instantly translated the English text into Kannada, right there on his screen. This was Arun's third interaction with AI, all before 9 a.m. So, how many times did Arun use AI today? The answer is not just 3, it's dozens of times. And the same is true for you. AI is no longer something from the future. It's a part of our daily lives, where just like Arun, we don't realize just how much it is helping us. When you check the weather, AI predicted if it would rain today. When you took a photo, AI automatically made it look better. When opening your email inbox, AI helped filter all the spam messages out. When buying products online on e-commerce, AI suggested products you might like. AI is everywhere you go. So the question isn't when will AI come to India, but rather, are you ready to understand and use it even better? That's where this course comes in. Now, in the first module of the course, you'll learn about what AI is, how it's different from regular human intelligence, and finally, how AI literacy will give you an advantage in today's job market. So let's start with the first point. What is artificial intelligence? To answer this question, you need to start with humans and to understand what do we mean even by intelligence. Now, humans, if you go back into our history, we are very good at building tools and technologies which have made us the number one species on the planet. Many thousands of years back, we created a set of tools and technologies which created the agricultural revolution, where food became abundant. Many years on, we created something called the Industrial Revolution, where labor became free. A few revolutions further, we invented a set of tools and technologies, which we call internet or search, which created the information revolution. And their information became freely accessible and abundant. At the cusp of every such revolution, we are both, as human beings, we are both excited and concerned. Because these revolutions just don't change how we work or how we do business. They change everything. How we live, our society, our workplace, our families, humanity, the planet, the environment. Which country is more powerful than the other? Now today, we are at the cusp of the next revolution, where I said intelligence becomes free. It becomes freely accessible to everyone, on tap. And again, as we stand right now at the cusp of the intelligence revolution driven by artificial intelligence, we are both excited as well as concerned. But to understand what this AI revolution is, we need to understand how human intelligence works. It becomes much easier to understand how we have taught machines then to be intelligent too. Take the example of a child or children learning to ride a bicycle. On the first day, they get on the cycle, immediately fall down. I'm sure you did also when you were a kid. They're scared, maybe they cry a little. But what happens in their brain? They have learned something important. If I lean too much on one side or the other side, I fall. On the second day, the child tries again. This time they don't lean so much, but they last a few seconds before falling down again. But again their brain learns. Keep the handle straight. Don't look down all the time. On the third day, they manage a few more seconds. Day by day, they get better. And after 1 week, they're cycling around the park confidently. What happened here? The child's brain did three things. One, it learned by understanding what worked and what didn't. Two, it understood that something good happened when it worked and not so good when it did not. And therefore, three, it adapted by changing their approach based on these learnings. So finally, they improved. This is intelligence. Whether you're learning to cycle, learning to cook, or learning to recognize faces, intelligence is always about learning from experience and getting better. Now, the way we think about intelligence is changing. For thousands of years, if you wanted to solve a difficult problem, you only had a few choices. You could be very smart yourself, you could get an expensive education, or you could hire experts who would charge a lot of money. But think about what happened with people with mobile phones. In that revolution, in the phone revolution, which was it started around 1995, only very rich people had mobile phones. Those devices were huge. Some of you who are young, who weren't born then, wouldn't have seen it, but they were like bricks. And they could just make calls. That's all they could do. Today, even a street vendor or Arun in his auto has a smartphone, more powerful than the computers that even NASA had in 1990s. The same thing is happening with intelligence. Before, only big, huge companies could analyze data. Only universities could do research. Only experts could solve complex problems. But now, a farmer in rural Haryana can use AI to identify crop diseases. A small shop owner in Madurai can use AI to manage inventory. A student in Patna can use AI to get personalized tutoring. This is because intelligence itself is becoming cheap and available to everyone. Just like mobile phones went from becoming a luxury to a necessity, AI is going from an expert tool to becoming an everyday helper. This is the biggest change in human history so far because, as I said, we are making intelligence free and widely available for everyone through this AI revolution. Since we have said the word AI, and now you know what intelligence is, what does AI or artificial intelligence mean? Artificial intelligence means teaching computers to learn and make decisions like humans do, like we do. Remember our bicycle example? A child learns by trying, making mistakes, and improving. AI does exactly the same thing, but with data instead of physical practice. Just like a child learns by watching and trying, AI learns by studying millions and millions of examples. Just like you can recognize your mother's voice among hundreds of voices, AI can recognize patterns in data. Just like you choose which route to take based on the traffic, AI makes decisions based on what it has learned and predicts. This magic ingredient in AI is called machine learning. It's just a fancy way of saying learning by studying lots of examples. We'll learn a bit more about how exactly machine learning works in the next few videos, so look out for that. For now, let's keep unpacking what artificial intelligence really is. It's a complex subject, and so you might read different definitions of AI in newspapers or websites. But don't get confused. Experts from different fields define AI differently. Because as a field, AI covers so many different jobs. Some people focus on the technical side, which is algorithms, data, programming, terms which we will again revisit later in this course. But some people focus on the practical side, what AI can actually do for us. Some people worry about AI replacing humans, and I'm sure you would have heard of that, or sometimes you worry about that. But many others believe AI will help humans become smarter than even what they are right now. What you need to remember is that AI is simply computers learning to solve problems by studying examples, just like humans learn from experience. Whether you call it machine learning, artificial intelligence, or smart computers, the basic idea is the same.